Hi friends, it's Deanna Williston from Our Blooming Catholic Life. We are almost 2 weeks into Advent, and I thought I'd come to you with a little bit of Liturgy of the Hours talk. I will be honest, when it came time to switch back to volume 1 of Liturgy of the Hours, I was completely confused because I took my book out and it was like in perfect condition. It's not anymore, but it was so perfect. I was like, have I never used this? And then I quickly found out why. Because it completely confused me. So this is the Liturgy of the Hours, the 4 volumes that the edition was, can you see it? In 1975. So if you're using a different edition, this won't make any sense to you at all. This is just for those using the 4 volume that was printed in 1975. So for Advent, we go to book 1. And I've gotten this cover on my own. It's like a leatherette cover. It zips up. What's nice is because all my extra things in the back, my proper offices of Franciscan Saints and Blesseds. I have a little copy of the Magnificat I use. There's all kinds of inserts. I keep bookmarks back here. I mean, holy cards. And I always have my 3 o'clock hour prayer book in here. It's getting a little beat up, but I like to keep these in the back. You probably noticed earlier there was another little book with a pen. This I just bought at the grocery store, and I'll open up to a blank page because I can't show you the regular ones. This is where I write my prayer requests. It's super nice because it has the little leatherette cover that sort of matches and a ribbon so I can tell where I am currently. And it's kind of like, I feel like it's locked shut. So anytime I get a prayer request, whether it's, somebody asks me personally on Facebook, on Twitter, any of you that give me a prayer request on YouTube, I write it in here. So when I'm praying the Liturgy of the Hour and we get to the intentions and I say, and all those who have asked us to pray for them and for whom I said I would pray, I put my hand on this little book and I feel like God has you all covered. He hears your prayers because it's right here, and I keep it close to my heart, but also very close to my breviary for that reason. It's just so funny. Little notes that end up in here. I do use, this is an app I use to go back and forth from Spanish to English or Latin to English or German to English, whatever it may be, when I look things up. I've gotten some YouTube comments that were definitely, I think one was from like the Netherlands or something, and I couldn't understand an expression. So I do look those up when you give them to me. So the first week of Advent was a little bit more confusing. It's set up just a smidge differently. So when we get in here, it starts out Advent season, and then it has like this big list of hymns, this or this or this. So there's a list of hymns in the beginning of the book that you can refer back to. So there's going to be a bunch, and it's kind of like before this time or that time, but it gives you all the hymns in the beginning. Now, it's not like the 1 volume, which is also going to give you the musical scores for it. It's not like that. But you can see then here it says first Sunday of Advent. This is the Psalter for week 1. So evening prayer 1, it says to go to hymn 126. And does that mean hymn number 126? No, it means the hymn. See, evening prayer, hymn on page 126. So I know there are people who pray along with somebody who's using the 1 volume and they're like, oh, it's number 126, and that doesn't really work out. Also, if you've never used the 4 volume for hymns, you'll see down here it does tell you the melody, so you can always look up that tune. There's an app I use, it might be Breviary Tunes, and they will actually play a little bit of the tune for you so that you can figure out what it is to sing that song. And sometimes you actually have 2 choices for melody. It's always very interesting. But you can see, so it's hymn 126, so that's why she was a bookmark over there. So she was a bookmark in that page. And then it gives you the antiphon 1, but then it says the Psalms and the Canticle are for Sunday, week 1, 678. So you're going to have to go to 678. And we're past this, so I've already moved my ribbons. If you are confused by the ribbons, fear not, there is no system. You make up your own system. It's all good. So look, here it says matches up. It also says hymn 126, and it says, or you can do this one. There's so many options in Advent. And here it says antiphon 1, and see how it says Advent? It matches up. Proclaim the good news among the nations. Proclaim the good news among the nations. So right now, I don't have to flip back and forth because they are the same antiphons. And here it's giving us the Psalms, and we can just go straight through. It's giving us, right? It's giving us the Advent antiphons. It's giving us the Psalm prayers, And then we're going to get down here and it says wait. So we get done with the Psalms and it says reading responsory. So then we're going to flip back. We're going to pick back up here. Remember the Canticle of Mary, it gives you the antiphon, but the Canticle of Mary is not in the physical book. It's on one of those cards. And why I have it on a little handout that I've printed off the web is just so I have the breakdown, because in my prayer group we alternate just like we do sides on a psalm, right, left side, right side, left side, right side. So I have to have the breakdown of the canticle so I say it correctly when I say it, so I have a large printout so it's nice and big and I can see it. So, excuse me. And so we finish out here. You can see, then we get to, then we're into the next day, right? And so we're going to stop. Now we're at week 2. And week 2 is working a little bit differently. So here is Thursday. And then I'm going to flip to evening prayer because that's what I do with my group. And see, it starts right away with the reading. You're like, yikes, where will I be then? So let's see. My yellow ribbon, so my blue ribbon is, I move that for the day. I think of it like blue sky in the morning. So as the day progresses, I move it. You could also do that with this and say it's the sun moving throughout the day. It's just what I like to do. In this volume, and honestly, I think I recreate it every time I open a book. This is the ordinary, so I can find it quickly. And then green, this is saying, week 2. This is week 2. And I must have moved it. I wonder if this purple ribbon isn't in the right place. Sorry. Yeah, see, my ribbons fell out the other day. I had them up and here, and the book shut, and so my whole ribbon system thrown off. Okay, so I'm looking for Thursday week 2, but evening prayer. So I'm going to keep going. Here we are, evening prayer. And it says that right at the top. So then I have to look for where it starts. Okay, so here it just starts with the reading. So I'm going to come here to this 885 first. I am going to work my way through. Here it's giving us a hymn. Again, the hymn is going to tell us the melody. In this case, it's the Ash Grove, so it's a little Welsh tune. Here are our antiphons. Psalm, antiphon. Then we go to antiphon 2, psalm, psalm prayer. Sometimes they're not really having psalm prayers in Advent, I've noticed. And then we're going to go on through the canticle and look. Then it tells us, nope, go back to the ordinary, which is over here. We're going to finish out over here. Okay, so that's a little guide to how it's going. It's just set up a little bit differently for Advent. Don't be super intimidated and just figure out your own system for that. If you need help, a lot of people use apps to figure it out. If you're doing it in prayer group with a group, right, you're going to have to agree. So some of us are using the St. Joseph's Guide for Liturgy Hours. Some people are using the one from the Franciscan Guide from the Confraternity of Penitence. And you can see it'll tell you like evening prayer. Go to this page number. It's hymn 126 or 812. The Psalms are at 811. And so you can follow along. It's a guide. There are several versions of this out there though. So you all have to be using the same or use the same app or just agree to do whatever the app does. So if there's a saint's feast day, sometimes the apps celebrate it, sometimes they don't, sometimes your guide's going to celebrate it or not. You just need to agree on those as a group and move forward. Don't be intimidated by the Liturgy of the Hours. It is the prayer of the church, of all the church. It is not just for priests. It is not just for deacons. It is for all of us. And if you can find a parish that is doing it in group or a group to do it with on Zoom, God bless you. And if you can't find a group, get out there and start one. I can tell you it's been a huge blessing in my life, and I want that for you. So God bless you, friends. Have a blessed day.